Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Yo, what's good with y'all? It's your boy Danny. Welcome to another episode of Danny's Dimensions. Man, what a fight yesterday. Pretty good fight, had some pretty good undercards and stuff like that. Anthony Joshua versus Usyk. Alexander Usyk is still the WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine now heavyweight champion of the world after he won a split decision victory over Anthony Joshua. Now, I had said prior to this episode, I said in the last episode that this was do or die for Anthony Joshua in his career. I really feel like that was the case. But, sometimes we, as fans of boxing, we sometimes overstate what that means. And so now I have to retract that. I did feel that it was a very important fight for AJ. He did well. He did better than he did the last fight, but it just wasn't enough. Usyk's movement, Usyk's timing, Usyk's just his ability to maneuver around the ring and use his angles and still hit AJ from time to time with that straight left hand, even though he wasn't hitting him as much as he was with during the first fight. He was still able to hit Anthony Joshua with some good shots. I think that Anthony Joshua did show a little bit more movement, showed he was bending his knees a little bit more. But at times he did revert back to the old AJ, which is standing up straight for Usyk's straight shots. Usyk is the man in the heavyweight division right now. And the crazy thing about it is, man, Tyson Fury supposedly was retired, but we don't believe nothing that Tyson Fury says. So what does Tyson Fury do after the fight? He says how stupid the fight was, how this and that, and he was doing all of his thing for clout. This is what Tyson Fury does. This is the type of person that he is. It's what he does, man. Tyson Fury is that type of guy that says some outlandish things to keep his name relevant, and that's what. Do I believe Tyson Fury is retired? It appears he's not retired. It appears that he's actually going to go ahead and fight Usyk. Usyk called out Anthony Joshua. Not Anthony Joshua. He called out Tyson Fury after the fight, after he beat Joshua. A lot of speculation on AJ's demeanor after the fight, how he acted. We'll touch on that today. First of all, I just want to say real quick that just to like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Ramos. He subscribed to my channel today. So appreciate you, my boy. And, support your local boxing teams. Shout out to MOW Boxing, Coach Rob. If you're looking for some boxing coaching, and if you're in the Virginia area, you're looking for a coach to teach you some boxing and teach you the ins and outs, this guy's world class. So check him out. And sometimes he comes on my podcast from time to time, Saturdays with Coach Rob. Also, like I said, just like, share, and subscribe, man. Contribute to the channel. And I thank those that already have contributed and liked and shared and told everybody. So shout out to you guys. So my prediction of Anthony Joshua, back to the Anthony Joshua fight versus Usyk, Alexander Usyk. My prediction in that fight did not go as I planned it to go. So I predicted Anthony Joshua by decision. It was a safe pick. It was the pick that I thought that. But you know what? It was a closer fight than the previous fight. But Anthony Joshua just didn't. He didn't do enough. He didn't do enough to win the fight. And this is the first fight that he had that he lost. He lost twice to someone, so it was very hard for him to fathom losing twice to someone. When he fought Andy Ruiz, he bounced back and won the decision. He was able to win the decision. He was able to make adjustments. In this fight, he made adjustments, but he didn't make enough adjustments in order for him to do what was necessary for him to win the fight. I thought that he could have went to the body a lot more. He didn't. Um, when he did go to the body, it paid big dividends in that fight. You know what I'm saying? And after 9 rounds, I had Anthony Joshua up by 1 round. The ninth round was a big round for Anthony Joshua, and it looked like he had Usyk pretty much hurt, very much so hurt. In the 10th round, Usyk just turned it up another notch and showed the type of championship mettle and heart that he has. And he was catching AJ with some very clean, hard shots. I think this fight was closer than some people made it out to be. But it was a split decision for Usyk. 11th round, the 11th round was a very tough round to score. To me, I felt it was a swing round. I felt that it was very tough to score. Usyk was more active, but the more eye-catching punches were delivered by Anthony Joshua. So if you gave that round to Usyk, then it was 7-5 Usyk, which I did give it to Usyk. You gave that because Usyk clearly won the 12th round. You gave that round to Usyk, you have a 7-5. You gave that round to Joshua, it's a draw. So, I mean, it is. So Anthony Joshua, after the fight, he had some pretty scathing things that he did. Showed a little bit of lack of sportsmanship. But you know what? I'm not going to get too much on him about that because, at the end of the day, man, it's a fight. And when you have a fight like that and when someone's very emotional, he put so much into that fight mentally. And then after that, he kind of reacted the way he reacted. And it wasn't really, to me, although it was very unsportsmanlike, he left the ring. He came back in the ring. He was cussing people out and doing different types of things. He left the ring. Then he walked back into the ring, threw Usyk's belts out of the ring, came back in there, grabbed the mic, said some things, and after that, he kind of praised Usyk in a profanity-laced rant. Then after the fight, he was very emotional and he was tearful after the fight, and he made some comments. The next day, he made a comment, and he said, and I quote, this is what Anthony Joshua said on his Facebook. So let me load this up real quick and show you what he said. Let me show you real quick. And I mean, it was very much of it's an emotional time, man. Sometimes when you're a fighter, man, you have these different type of things that happen. It's hard to accept losing. So this is what Anthony Joshua said on Facebook. He said, "I wish Usyk continues in greatness. In your quest for greatness, you are a class act champ. Yesterday, I had to mentally take myself into a dark place to compete for the championship belts. I had 2 fights, one with Usyk and one with my emotions, and both of them got the better of me. I'll be the first to admit that I let myself down. I acted out of pure passion and emotion. When not controlled, it ain't great. I love this sport so much, and I'll be better from this point on. Respect and respect to Anthony Joshua for showing accountability. He showed a lot of accountability for what he did. And you can only give him the credit that he deserves for showing the accountability after such a display. Um, I mean, you can't really be too upset about it. A lot of people are trolling him, saying he's not the fighter that he's not. He's a diva. A lot of people in boxing groups calling him overrated, saying all these different types of things about him. But the fact of the matter is, here's a guy, Anthony Joshua, who won three world titles. He's one of the most accomplished, probably the most accomplished heavyweight in this era right now. He's very accomplished. He fought all these guys. He didn't take any breaks and any shortcuts. He fought the best, some of the best in his era when he beat, and at the time when he beat Klitschko, people didn't want to give him credit. And I vouched for him. I remember I vouched for him on the social media groups where people were just sitting there saying Wilder would have done the same thing that Anthony Joshua would have did. I don't think that people hold Wilder in the same accountability. I don't think people hold Wilder with the same accountability that they do with Anthony Joshua, and it's kind of staggering to me that happens. So I just think that they need to hold Wilder with the same accountability that they have with Anthony Joshua, but they don't. They don't. You know what I mean? So it's real. It's crazy because here's a guy in Deontay Wilder who said himself on Twitter that he was offered more money to fight Anthony Joshua than he was to fight Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury took advantage of an opportunity to be a world champion, to do the things that he needed to do, and he took advantage of it. And that's what it is, man. That's what it is. He took advantage of it, and I can't take nothing away from Tyson Fury for doing that. But I'm going to show you something real quick, guys. The video of Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua throwing the belts. Shout out to my boy Steve Cunningham, the former IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the world, for uploading this video from the Boxing Voice that he screenshotted from his phone. So here's the video.
Nice.
Anthony Joshua. Let me turn this off so I don't get copyrighted. But look, here's a video of Anthony Joshua throwing the belts out of the ring. He's throwing the belts out of the ring. He's cussing people out. And, it was a very unsportsmanlike thing that he did. As you can see right there, he's looking like he's trying to fight, and his handlers are holding him back, and he's about to get out of the ring, and he gets out of the ring very angrily, very upset, very emotional, Anthony Joshua. And a lot of people blasted him for that. But here's a guy who had a lot of accountability, so he was so upset. As you can see, he's very upset right now. So a lot of people, really blasted Anthony Joshua when he did those things. But at the same token, he came back and he had accountability for what
Dear God, when I feel lost, guide me. Weak, strengthen me. When I feel hurt, heal me. Please be my peace in my pain, in my shelter, in my storm. I need you more than ever. Amen. Dear God.
So after that happened with Anthony Joshua, sorry, we had a little difficulty right there with my Facebook. But after that, he showed accountability. And that's something that Wilder did not do. Wilder did not show accountability for what happened. He's always he blamed his trainer. He said his trainer spiked his water. He said all these different types of things that he didn't, he didn't have any accountability for that. So a lot of the times, boxing fans, especially, they get really emotional, and they get too emotional because they sit there and they say, "Oh, Anthony Joshua, this Anthony Joshua is not what he's supposed to be. He's not this." I will make this assessment that Anthony Joshua, he's not the same fighter that he was. I think his confidence is down. Uh, After the Ruiz fight, I think his confidence went down a little bit because he hasn't had any tune-up fights. He hasn't had any get-back fights to gain his confidence. I did say that, like I said, I did say that this fight was a fight that was make or break for his career as far as being a top heavyweight. But you know what? I'll have to rescind that. I'll have to see, because he says that he wants to continue fighting. He's not going to retire. He just needs to be more active, because in this fight he was coming off of an 11-month layoff, and the last fight that he had fought was the fight against Usyk. That was the last fight that he fought. So, with that being said, I thought, with the whole thing that was going on with Ukraine and Russia, that fight wasn't going to happen, but it ended up happening. And I thought that it could have been possible for AJ to have a fight in between, but I guess he didn't want to. He wanted to just invoke that rematch clause because he probably felt that he wouldn't get the fight had he not invoked the rematch clause. So that's probably why he felt that it was going to be like that. But like I said, man, I had him up one round after the 9th round when he had a great round. And, in the beginning, I felt that he was a little bit tentative like he was in the first fight. He was very much so tentative. And it's hard not to be tentative against you can't be tentative against a guy who's a counterpuncher, And that's just the great. We just got to give Usyk the credit that he deserves, man. He deserves all the credit that he needs to get, because he went out there, he did his thing, he fought the way he was supposed to fight. He probably has the best, if not the best, one of the best footwork of any fighter that I know of. You know what I'm saying, in the heavyweight division today, other than him and Tyson Fury. And I will have to say so. I definitely think that he has what it takes in terms of footwork, in terms of hand speed, in terms of ability. In and out, he was angling, he was doing all types of things to cause people problems. Sometimes, it's a stylistic matchup that causes problems, and this may be the Achilles heel for Anthony Joshua. This may be the Achilles heel for him, and that's what it's looking like. That everybody ain't Superman, but I just think that people need to stop with the whole Anthony Joshua isn't this and he isn't that. It's so quick. People are so quick to invest so much into these fighters, and then they go and tear them down after they lose fights. It's easy to stick with somebody when they're up. It's easy to stick with somebody when they're doing everything that they're winning, and they're winning titles, and they're doing all these things, and they're constantly knocking people out, because Anthony Joshua is a knockout artist. And he's more technically sound than Deontay Wilder, but he's definitely not as fast or so some people say, well, Wilder's going to knock out Joshua. Wilder's going to do things. And it's so crazy how every time Anthony Joshua, if he loses a fight or every time he fights, Wilder has something to say about it. Every time. First thing he comes out of his mouth and starts talking about, he starts going off on Twitter about this and that and the third, and saying that, but then you're the same Wilder that said that AJ, you were offered a fight. You were talking all this trash about AJ didn't want to fight. When you guys were fighting, you were saying AJ didn't want to fight. We're saying that. So, but now you're saying that AJ claims that, I mean, you're claiming that AJ's team wanted him as insurance, knowing that he would lose. Whatever that means, you went to Twitter and said that. This is what you said on Twitter. My boy Adrian. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up, Danny?
Good, AD.
I thought I'd stop in for a few minutes because I don't have too much time.
But, yeah, man.
What's up, Mr. Danny, bro?
Yeah, just telling people about the AJ Usyk fight, man.
You know what's crazy? The post-fight was crazier than the fight.
Yeah. I was just talking about how he how he had his antics after the fight. What you think about the antics, man?
You know what it is? It's unfortunate that both it's really unfortunate that both Wilder and AJ, the fight that the fans never got, both of them have serious psychological issues. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
It really is. They need help. I think it's like a cry for help, you know?
I would have to agree with that to an extent because, you know, I was just saying, like, you know, AJ just broke down. He just mentally broke down after the fight, and he was crying. And I've never seen him like this. Never.
Yeah.
He put a lot into this fight. He put a lot into it.
Yeah. What makes him one of the most fan-friendly guys, like boxers, is the fact that he's so humble and well-spoken. And last night, that was just like
that wasn't him.
Really made himself look bad.
Yeah, that wasn't him last night.
Yeah.
But
you know what though? You know who I blame? I blame the referee that gave him the 115, 113. That referee should be shot. I mean, the judge should be shot. No. It was closer. It was a closer fight than the first.
Definitely.
I have to give nothing but respect for Anthony Joshua for coming back. Was it the 9th round that he came back really strong?
Yeah, the 9th round. That was a big round for him.
Yeah, the 9th round was strong, and I really think if it was a unanimous decision, I think he wouldn't have went crazy. The unfortunate, you know, I think he thought to himself that the fight was a lot closer than what it was.
Right.
You know, he's just an athlete that boxes. He's not a boxer. You know, that's the fundamental. Like if you break everything down and really look at the fight, you had a boxer versus an athlete in there. That's really what it was, what it came down to. You know,
right.
And I feel
you just can't teach. Yeah, you can't teach old dog new tricks, man. I mean, the Robert Garcia, you could see like he was trying to do the upper body move, the side movement, but then after a while, it just went away, and he reverted back to what he normally does, which is standing straight up and getting hit with those overhand lefts.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that, I mean, it just goes to show you the state of boxing, where you could be an elite top 4 guy in boxing, and you could have zero boxing skills in Wilder. And then for Anthony Joshua, I think, I don't want to say he doesn't have, so Joshua has way more boxing skill and techniques than Wilder, but he only knows, like I said, he's an athlete, athlete that boxes. There's a difference. He knows certain like techniques, but he doesn't know how to box. And that's why, like, I was with a bunch of people from overseas watching the fight, and they're like, how come this big guy doesn't know how to move? Like, what's wrong with him? Is he hurt? And I'm like, no, he just doesn't know how to box. Like, he just, you know, he can't.
He's so stiff sometimes. He's just stiff sometimes. The way he moves, it just feels like it's a chore. Like like he's trying to move, but he just doesn't look. I don't know. It just looks. And I felt that fight more so than any other fight, especially the two Usyk fights, really showed how much lack that he has when it comes down to.
And I'm not a boxing trainer, but as far as technical wise, if I was Joshua, I mean, his chin is, you know, ever since the Reese fight, he's been a different fighter. You could tell.
Definitely.
But if I was him, I would have just went for broke early because
Absolutely.
after the 5th round, like after the no, I'm sorry, he did win a few of those early rounds. I think I gave him the first two. I'm at a wedding right now, but I think I gave him the first two, and then Usyk turned it on 3-4, and then after the 5th round, Joshua just looked like he gave up. But then he came back, he fought back. But at that point in the 6th round, if I was Joshua, if I was his training, I would have said, "Listen, you're not going to win this technical battle. It's not working. That
You
shit
can't.
you were doing to the body. Once Usyk countered it, that's it. It wasn't checkmate, but it was basically check. And then he didn't have a response to it. And then at that point, I would have, if I was in his corner, I would have said, "Listen, feint your right, or feint, throw your best feint, and then bite down on your mouthpiece and just trade blow, trade
Go
your
for
best
blow.
shot.
Yep, go for broke.
Try to time it, because that, and honestly, Usyk, bro, he was hurt. You know what I mean?
He
Like,
was hurt.
yeah, like he
was
was hurt.
hurt.
And like, bro, if AJ that one round, he should have went all out.
All out.
And yet again, because these refs and the referee will stop it early.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They want AJ to win, but as I said, reflecting back, and a lot of media guys, they're all about like instant reaction. I think you got to chill with it. I really think you need to take a full day just to like think about it. Because at this point, every hardcore boxing fan knew Usyk was going to win again. We all knew it. Like, I picked AJ, but like I more so picked AJ to like give myself hope and to make the fight more exciting to watch, because we all knew what was going to happen.
Absolutely.
And now the bigger question is, what's next?
What's next?
I mean, listen, people are like, he's done while AJ's done. No, he's not, bro. He's still the king of London. Like, outside of Fury, he could sell out to O2. You know what I mean? There's plenty of bums. There's plenty of
Derek Chisora is doing it.
We could take him out.
So. Yeah, Derek Chisora is doing it. So
yeah, but
he has how many losses? 11 losses.
You got to give respect to Chiroza, because he's never been in a boring fight in his life.
Never. Love Derek Chisora, man. He's great.
You need people like him in boxing.
Oh, absolutely.
The dude knows how to sell a fight. He does what American boxers have no clue, and they have no clue about how to build a fight. His interviews are amazing. His pre-fight and post-fight interviews, he knows how to sell himself. I wish American boxers freaking took a page from his book and actually learned from him, because Derek Chiroza, skill-wise, is not good at all, man. And he put up a fight. Didn't he fight Usyk?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he put up a good fight against Usyk, man.
He gave him a tough fight.
Yeah, he did what AJ should have done.
Exactly.
Counter, bro. Just like I said, you're not gonna outbox a smaller guy. It's just
not gonna do it.
It's not gonna happen. But the only thing I see for unfortunately, the only thing I see for Usyk is a unification bout with Fury, which may or may never happen. At this point, what is Usyk gonna do? Beg? He's gonna have to beg Fury for a fight, and you can't. Fury's the toughest guy. Fury's the toughest guy to deal with in the sport, any sport. Who knows that guy?
Tough.
He's a gypsy. He's a liar. This dude one day he's retired, the next day he wants to fight an MMA, then he wants to create his own sport with different rules, and then he wants to change the gloves and then the weight, and he's all over the place, bro. You can't depend on that, But he knows, his people know if he fights Fury, I'm not saying it's an easy fight for Fury, but that's barbecue chicken for Fury. For Fury,
it's the same. It's the same style. They basically have the same style, but Fury is 6'9".
Yeah,
longer reach, bigger, and he's definitely gonna rough up. See, that's what I thought AJ would do. I thought that he was gonna try to rough him up, and he didn't.
Yeah, I would like to see. And if I was, if I could predict fights and make fights, I would love to see Wilder win his next fight versus, I guess I want to say a top 10 guy, but 95% of boxing fans can't even name 10 heavyweights outside of Fury, AJ, Usyk, and Wilder. You know, they can't. It is.
They really can't.
I'll bet anyone $100. Go to any boxing gym. Be like, yo, name me 10 active heavyweights outside of those four. They'll give you. Most people after 4 or 5, they won't be able to name anyone. I'd like Wilder win his next one and see if he's actually, you know, still looks good. I don't think he is. I think Wilder is probably done. I really do. I think his career competing at a high level is pretty much done. I hope this is his last fight for him. I hope he gives it all.
You think it's his last fight?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't think it's going to be, but I hope so. I don't know what he's fighting for at this point. You know?
Well, he may want that AJ fight. now he may want it. Now that he sees that there's some chinks in AJ's armor.
No, but that fight only makes sense if Anthony Joshua has to come off a win.
Yeah. Off of 2 straight losses is not. I don't think that makes any sense because AJ needs to get his confidence back. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about Anthony Joshua is he has one of the best promoters who actually makes fights.
Absolutely.
So by the end of this year, I do predict him getting another fight. He's probably going to get a fight in December, you know, because the zone they need main events. So he's going to be fighting in his hometown, wherever that is. No one even knows. Is he staying with his trainer? I mean, he's got to get back. He's got to get back in the ring. He's got to get active again. He's got to get right back in there. He can't wait 6 months or a year. He's got to sign another fight within, 3 months and then get back in there by the end of the year. I hope for his own good. Because I'm sure he still wants to compete. I don't think he's I don't anticipate him being in the same position, like in the position where Wilder is. I think Wilder's done. I think that knockout, that last fight was, I think took years off his life. I really do. That beatdown by Fury was just like, I don't think people understand how much of a beatdown that was. That shit takes years out of your life, in my opinion, at least.
Right. So, definitely. Oh man, that knockout was crazy.
Yeah, but
the knockout was crazy.
Beatdown. It wasn't like the Usman fight where you just get hit once and you're fucked. Bro, Fury brought it to his fucking face and just gave it to him and gave it. He took his best stuff and just said, "I'm still here." That's man. I don't really care for Usyk personally. I don't know what. I mean, I get like boxing hardcore fans. They like him because he's good skill wise. I do care about that, obviously, for like talking points, but I really, at this point in my life, and my age, I care more so about how boxers promote themselves and like them actually doing what, like selling themselves. I like the Adrian Broners, like the prime Adrian Broner, like where they make the fight interesting, because in the end of the day, like Usyk has potential to be maybe one, you can make an argument he's the best heavyweight in boxing. I mean, you can't, but no one really gives a fuck. What sold the fight last night was the fact that Joshua was in the main event. Usyk doesn't do interviews, doesn't speak English.
Not marketable.
It's 1 or 2 words. And, it's just like, okay, he doesn't do anything for the sport. He doesn't.
Which is why I felt that they would actually rob Usyk in this fight. There was a possibility because he's not, he's not as marketable as AJ is.
Yeah, I mean, listen. The thing is, this, like I said, no one knows what Usyk's is like. No one even knows what's next for him. That's the problem. Like, if you're realistic, you can't depend on a Fury fight. It's not going to happen. Fury should fight Usyk again. Should fight Usyk. I'm just reading comments.
Yeah.
Fury should fight Usyk. Did they fight?
Do you mean Joshua should fight JD? He must be saying Joshua should fight him again.
Bro, they don't need a third fight. Don't even bother. It's
for that. None whatsoever.
No. Listen, don't get it twisted. If Anthony Joshua, if he continues to improve, with us over here in America, and he looks good, Why not? Listen, if Usyk continues on, I just don't understand. Usyk's older too, by the way.
He is.
I just don't understand. I really don't know what's next. And this is what's wrong when you have a guy who's mute that doesn't know how to promote himself. So the number one rule in promotion, that once the fight ends, what are you supposed to do? What the one rule is? Fight over?
I think you're breaking up a little bit, Adrian.
Oh, what? I'm just back.
Yo,
You hear me now?
What's good, Rob?
can you hear me?
Coach Rob, I hear you, brother.
What's up, Rob?
What's up, Adrian?
What's
going
up, guys?
bud?
Hey, so quick question. I'm gonna jump out. What's the number one rule when the fight ends? Like if you're a boxer, right? You're in the post-fight interview. What's the number one thing you always have to do?
Give credit to the guy that won.
No, fuck that. Give credit. No.
Give credit to sportsmanship, bro.
Sportsmanship, man.
That's the first thing.
No. At the low end, like amateur level, yeah. Like before you get approached.
You're breaking up. That's at pro level too, bro. That's step one.
Pro.
I know, but once you win a world championship, what you do is you promote the next fight. Everyone's watching. What's next?
Yeah, that's not the first thing you do.
I want fucking, if I was Usyk, Fury, fuck you, I want you. Like, you know what I mean? And then people, no one even, did anyone talk about it?
Yeah, but that's not the first. Yeah, that's not the first thing you do though. You said for Usyk to call out Fury. Is that what you said?
Yes, right away. The first thing I would have said was,
Oh, he already said that.
the second they threw the mic in my face, Fury, you're next. We're going to make it happen. End of the year. Let's do it. And now every boxing media, they would have been like, oh my God, we have to make it happen. We have to make it happen. So now look, what's going to end up, we're in the same situation. Spence Crawford.
Well, he said that though. Usyk said that. He was like, I don't want to fight anybody else but Fury. He said that in his post-fight. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
We need to push this as media. We need to push this as fans, because you don't want to be in the same position where Spence Crawford. I was saying this shit in March. I was like, this fight's not going to get made,
Yeah.
But let's read this comment. Broner said he said was bigger than Usyk. He only had one pay-per-view, 400,000 buys. What the hell's he on? I meant as far as the self-promoter. Adrian Broner at no point was like, someone said he was top 5 pound for pound. Dan, I don't know who said that, but I remember someone said that. Both were like, no, never was.
Somebody said he was top 5.
Yeah, someone said Broner was top 5 pound for pound. I thought that was funny.
Wow.
Broner offered 40.
Yeah, you're breaking up again, brother.
Am I breaking?
Yeah, get on somebody's Wi-Fi, bro.
Nah, he's at a wedding.
Oh, get on the Wi-Fi at the wedding, bro. They don't have Wi-Fi there?
Tomorrow, listen, I'm gonna step out. Tomorrow, I'm on, bro. Let me know. I'll talk.
All right, bro.
All right. So,
what up, man?
What's going on, Rob? You know what I'm saying?
I literally just walked in the door, bro.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just want to. There's a lot of people. Somebody wanted to go in Ed Gang fan page. He was saying some stuff. I was like, hop on. He was like, nah.
Hop on. Hop in.
What's on, man? What you scared of, man? Just come here and talk.
What's his issue?
You're talking boxing, man. It ain't nothing.
Ed, hop in. We sent you the link, bro. Let's talk.
We sent you the link. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. Hop in. Usyk 3.2 million pay-per-view buys. Broner 400.
Why are we comparing Usyk and Broner? What's the point?
I have no idea what the Usyk and Broner thing is.
Broner
I guess Adrian said something about Broner, and I guess he was talking about Usyk.
Adrian loves Broner. That's all.
He said, "Not scared, bro. Easier to type.
Easier to type."
He says
it's not easier to type than to talk, Ed. Come on, man.
Bro, come on.
Unless you're somewhere where you can't talk, I understand, but it's not easier
come on, bro.
To type than talk.
It's not that bad, man. You can talk.
Hop in, Ed. We here, man. But
We
I
hear
don't know who said. I don't know who said anything about Adrian Broner, but I don't even think
Adrian did. Adrian did.
What did he say?
He said something about Adrian Broner is a good self promoter.
Oh. Well, Adrian's a good self promoter. I wouldn't say that he's not. I would say that he's. I mean, the way he promotes himself is, if AB could stay consistent, people were buying into AB when he was consistent and when he was doing his thing. Right. I mean, but as far as like numbers and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I don't think he's ever really made anything of it because the problem is he can't stay consistent enough. I think if he would stay consistent enough, more people would have wanted to see him fight, and people still want to see him fight. The fact that he can go away and be in a mental institution, be on rehab and all that stuff, and then come back, and people were still interested in watching him fight Figueroa, who retired last night. So it lets you know that would have been a soft touch for AB. Then I mean that lets you know, hey, look, he's still marketable. People still care about him, but I don't think that he has the numbers to really prove it. But I feel like if he was, AB is like the what is it, like the poster child for if you were to take someone that could have been great that wasn't. Like he needs his own unsung episode kind of thing, like because he could have been, you know what I'm saying, like he could have been something amazing.
He could have been.
He didn't, you know what I'm saying, he didn't do the right things, and so now I think it's too late. I don't really care to see him fight anymore, to be honest.
JD says AJ did not hurt Usyk, but the other way around. If round 9 Usyk stood up, goes to show Usyk can take the punches. On the contrary, I will have to say that AJ did hurt Usyk.
No, he did hurt him in the 9th, but
he definitely hurt him because every time he hit him to the body, Usyk had a negative reaction to it. He was looking to the referees for help, and
he can. But Usyk is a tough guy though, man. So I'm not
you saw how he came back in that very next round. He came right back, and he started throwing all types of punches and had AJ hurt. Yeah,
I would definitely say that AJ hurt him, but he didn't hurt him enough. Clearly,
not enough.
Yeah.
What's your whole outlook on the fight? What do you think as far as, first of all, AJ's antics, first of all, and second of all, how he fought? First of all, what his antics?
I thought he looked better in this fight. I think that whatever he did in camp with Garcia, working the body, working the upper body movement, I think those things were necessary. He still looked awkward and like somebody not comfortable with actual just boxing fundamentals, because he's a technically sound boxer, but he doesn't have like the finesse and like the ability to go in between paces and also to go in between tempos, and also to be limber and loose, because he's just too big. He's got too many muscles. But I could see that he was trying to do those things, but he still looked like a giraffe trying to walk. A baby giraffe trying to walk, but I thought he did a lot better. As far as post fight, I think I don't hold nothing to him for that, man. I get that. I feel like that was just he trained hard. He wanted to win. He thought he would win. I think it's a split decision, bro. I would have been upset about that too if I felt like I won and if I felt like I left everything there. But he said something in the post fight conference that made me consider. He said, I left it all in training. I didn't leave it all in the ring. So he was like, I left it all.
Adrian's talking.
Huh?
Adrian's talking from the. He said AB was a genius self-promoter and fought everyone, didn't dug anyone either. Put some respect on that.
Man, he needs to put some respect on himself first, though, bro. Like once you start respecting himself, it'd be a lot easier for me to respect him.
You feel me?
I don't think that AB is a slouch. I never have, but I think that he just ruined himself by getting too caught up in the lifestyle, and he didn't live a boxer's lifestyle. He lived a rapper's lifestyle. He tried to do too many things at one time, and it came back to bite him in the butt. So
too much.
That's
too many distractions, man.
Too many distractions. That's just the truth. So being a competitive boxer, man, and having to do that myself, I understood all the things I could have gotten involved in, all the things I did that could have veered me away from.
He said, "Why don't they do
that?
Why don't they do a trilogy? A trilogy between and Usyk, a trilogy. Well, what reason? What reason would you need a trilogy? I have no. AJ
Usyk. No, I mean AJ lost both, so I mean it wouldn't.
He lost 2 times. It's not like he won the second fight or he won the first fight. He lost twice, so really it doesn't make any logical or business sense.
I mean, he did a little bit better this time, but it still wasn't.
He did better. Yeah, but we can't give cool points for people who still lose, even though they
still lost.
Better.
Yeah, we don't do moral victories, man.
Yeah, there's no such thing as moral victories in boxing.
But I mean, he did, like I said, he did much better. I think, like I said, like I was saying though about the post-fight antics, being a boxer, I was a boxer. I'm still a boxer, but I don't compete anymore. But being a competitive boxer, somebody that just wants to win, has the grit, has the ability, and knows what they went through in training camp to get to that fight. I think he just lost it because he was frustrated, man, and. What else do you do in that when you're, not completely happy about it? You thought you should have won. You thought you did enough to win. You switched up everything to get your questions answered. So I think what it shows, number one, is it shows that he does still have the passion for the sport. I think it was obviously a little awkward and off color and probably could have been done differently, but it does still show that he has passion for the sport. Because that was one of the things that people were questioning. Like when he lost to Ruiz, they just was like, oh man, he just dapped him up like they just finished the sparring session that he lost. Well, nah, bro, you just lost in Madison Square Garden in front of thousands of people, and you lost all the belts. Like you should be a little bit more upset about this. You know what I'm saying?
Be upset. So that's why I'm kind of not upset that he's acting this way, because this is the AJ that we've been waiting to see.
Right. Like, I mean, what else can we do to get underneath your skin to get you to wake up to realize that you got to take this joint seriously and that there's things that you need to learn that you just don't know yet. You know what I mean? And so I think another loss like this one, that should help. Actually,
it was a wake-up call for him.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing. Of course, it was off color, but everybody has stuff they go through, bro. Everybody has struggles. And I think that he was trying to cover it for so long. And last night, the frustration, and all of that, perfect speaking and, all of his philosophies, and so he just showed his true colors. That's who he really is, and that's what he really feels like. But that's the one that we need to see, because this is the hurt business, man. You got to stop being so pretty and cute and trying to be nice to everybody and being a little cute boxer. You need to get out there and work. And I feel like he did better working this time, but this is the sport we're in, man. Like if you're gonna do this, it's not all about philosophies and theories and proper, movement and technique. It's not always about that. Sometimes it's a fight. And when it's a fight, you got to be able to fight back. And I think Usyk is somebody that's always going to give him trouble, because I feel like Usyk has his number. You're not going to change all the things that he did wrong in the first fight in one training camp. I don't care if you got Jesus Christ himself to come down there and train you. It's not going to work unless a miracle. You know what I mean? It's not going to work. So I understand switching over to Robert Garcia. He helped his style. He did get him, better. And I think that he just needs to spend more time with Robert Garcia and train his style, learn some of the little fundamental things that McCracken and them didn't really teach him, or that he didn't focus on, and continue to progress, man. Like this isn't end all for Joshua, man. This is actually like a great place for him to springboard back. Probably even like fight a Wilder or somebody like that, which is still a huge fight. Everybody wants to still see that fight, although they think Joshua will get knocked out, as I do. But I think it would be a great fight to see. People will pay big money to see it, including the promoters. So I know I saw Wilder put something up. He said this is a business. He said they had me as insurance because they knew that Usyk wouldn't beat that Joshua wouldn't beat Usyk. Yeah. So they had him as insurance as a backup fight. Same thing Canelo just did with Triple G. He needs a big fight. He needs a big fight after losing to Bivol, because who else he gonna fight? He has to have a draw. He has to have somebody that's gonna draw, because he needs a big fight to redeem himself from losing to Bivol. This is what these guys do, man. This is just boxing 101, the business of boxing 101. Fighter goes away for about 6 months, come back, just like we're about to see Deontay in October fight Helenius. It's a soft touch for him. It should be a soft touch for him, because he was sparring him all throughout his Fury camps. So it should be a soft touch for him. But it's like everybody's excited now that Deontay's back. You know, they're worshiping this man. Like, oh man, we're so happy that he's back, man. The heavyweight division needs Deontay. 6 months ago, everybody was saying the heavyweight division needs to get rid of Deontay. And Deontay's trash. You get what I'm saying?
That's exactly how it is, bro.
So that's
how it is, man.
Yeah, that's boxing.
This is what we have when we have these.
What have you done for me lately?
They tear you down to build you up, to tear you down again. And this is what they're doing with AJ. Now they're saying he's a hype job. They're saying all that stuff. But you wasn't saying that back in 2015, 2016, 2017. You AJ, you know what I'm saying? Now he's a hype job.
The reason why I don't like AJ as a boxer. I really don't. I don't think he's good, but I never have thought he's good. I think, you know, I know you're an AJ fan, so you have, but I've never thought he was a good boxer. I thought AJ was big.
Mean, you've been consistent. So I can't really say too much, but there's been some other people who say AJ's great one time, and then the next they say AJ ain't nothing. Now he ain't nothing.
I've never liked him, but I do respect him because he has fought he has the best resume in the heavyweight division.
Absolutely.
As far as people that he's fought.
Right. As far as
the competition that he's fought, he has the best resume in the heavyweight division. He held the belts the longest, all three. Absolutely. He held them the longest. So I do respect him, but because I know some people be like, "Oh well, if this was old AJ, no, Usyk would have beat old AJ. Probably. Usyk would have beat AJ every single time.
I believe because that's just the kryptonite, man. Usyk is just the kryptonite for AJ's so-called.
Well, it's a lot of technical things there that Usyk does that AJ doesn't know what to do with, which is why it's a problem.
Yep.
That's all it is. And I'll tell you, a lot of it is feints, a lot of it is head movement, a lot of it is where his feet are placed. AJ.
Yep. I noticed a lot during the course of the fight that his when I was watching a fight yesterday with my dad on the Zone, and we were talking about the foot placement of AJ as opposed to the foot placement of Usyk. Yeah. Usyk's foot was always on the outside of AJ's foot, so that he had.
Yeah, AJ couldn't land
right in that zone that we talked about for that straight left hand.
Yeah.
And AJ didn't know how to do that.
He was getting hit with that overhand left all
overhand
night.
left.
So, like I said, I'm a fan. I won't say I'm a fan, but I respect AJ. I think that he fought a valiant effort. I thought he did, better than he did the first fight, and I was proud of him for going out there and trying against a very difficult opponent in Usyk. Like I said, Usyk is not to be slept on, but I think Fury will expose him. But he's not to be slept on. Yeah.
Adrian says,
yeah.
Fury eats Usyk's lunch, dinner, breakfast, and
I 100% agree with that. but I think Fury does that to anybody in the heavyweight division. Anybody at heavyweight. Like I said, in my mind, Fury's already undisputed. In my mind, because technically he already was when he fought Klitschko before he went on his hiatus. So in my mind, he's already undisputed until he fights. Of course, now realistically, he's not until he fights Usyk. But in my mind, I don't see anybody beating him. So,
okay. Well, John Clark says, Usyk and AJ are 3 effing clowns.
Well, I think you should fight all 3 of them, John.
All in one night.
Yeah, I think you should fight all 3 of them.
See if you have the same opinion after that.
Prove to them that
they're clowns.
Yeah,
please.
Prove to them that they're circus acts. I mean, that's the only way to prove
it. Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, all there.
Oh, it sounds like.
I agree with that.
Ukrainian Dasa out.
I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that. That's facts. Yeah, like I said, I don't really see anybody beating Tyson Fury, bro. Not at heavyweight. Not at any weight, really.
Just say that we already know what it is about Tyson Fury and his bipolarness. What are we gonna call it?
Right. I don't, bro. I don't take nothing serious that man says until I see it.
You can't.
Until he vacates the WBC, he's still active. And I knew
yesterday
that anyway.
He was talking about how
being around forever.
Fight that was, how trash of a fight that was between Usyk and Joshua yesterday.
And talking about being around forever.
Yeah. So in previous week he said he was retired.
Yeah.
And he was and Jose Sulaiman was making a statement about his retirement. Now he's talking about
until that belt is completely vacated, bro.
Exactly. I don't believe it. So
now
he's probably going to fight Usyk.
Yeah.
He retired. He said he was going to retire. Then he said he's going to fight Derek Chisora. Then he says he retired again. Then he said
he's going to retire and said he's going to fight Francis Ngannou. That was the first person he said. Then he went to Derek Chisora. Now he's calling out Usyk because Usyk to him didn't look like anything last night. So one thing people aren't talking about, how much money does Fury want to fight Usyk? Is it the money for Fury? So why don't they make it this soon? Well, he said in a little post-fight talk thing he did, he said they would have to pay him a ton of money to get back in there and fight Usyk. I don't know what that means or how much that is, but he says they'd have to pay him a ton of money, which, I mean, for an undisputed heavyweight fight, they should be paid well. They should be paid well. So I don't know what that figure looks like.
And Usyk reportedly got $40 million apiece for this fight. $40 million apiece.
That's
not
bad, and that's
not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I mean, being that we know AJ is a draw, and he's always going to sell out the O2. See, I kind of in my previous video, I kind of like over exaggerated and said, "Oh, this is a make or break fight for AJ's career." But then I had to really think again and think about, well, he's always gonna kind of be a draw.
Nah, people will always pay to see AJ, man. He has the look, man.
He's gonna be a draw. So
he's the modern. Well, I don't want to call him Frank Bruno, but he's kind of the modern day Frank Bruno, except for he's better. I say he's better than Frank, but.
Why does Fury want a free-to-air show if he fights Usyk?
I don't know.
I have no.
He wants it not to be pay-per-view.
He wants it not to be pay-per-views. That's what I'm asking. JD, is you saying that he doesn't want it to be pay-per-view? Because if that's the case, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, come fight him for free, bro. Y'all, the belt's just the prize.
That's right. The belts that AJ threw out of the. That was the AJ threw out of the ring.
Yeah, AJ was mad, bro.
I said, man.
I'm not holding too much to him on that, bro.
I'm not.
I get it.
It's real easy.
Yeah.
Call somebody I've heard people in boxing groups call him a scared diva, and I'm like, you can't be a scared diva when he's fighting everybody best in your era.
Yeah, he's fighting everybody. Some of the best. Like I said, I'm not. I respect him because he's fighting all the tough fights, man.
Would you say he's made the most of his lack of what he lacks?
What do you mean?
Meaning, as far as like his technical abilities, like he's a good technically sound fighter, but he's not. He's somewhat robotic in his movements. So you think with his accomplishments, having won those 3 belts, having beaten those guys, do you think that he's maximized and this is the best AJ that we will see, or is there another level because he is 32 years old? Right, so he's at the peak of his career. How much better can he get, or how much time does he have to get better? And can he get better?
I think that whatever he focuses on in camp, he needs to really dial in on his mistakes. You know what I mean? Like not dial in on just working hard in camp, because there comes a time when a boxer gets to a place of where muscle memory does the things for you. Like for instance, for myself, like I don't train anymore, but I can still crack. I don't train like that anymore, but I can still crack. I can still hit hard. I still know how to properly throw a jab. I still know how to properly throw a 2. I know how to properly move my head, move my feet. I know how to properly do those things because I had a foundational coach that taught me how to do those things.
Exactly.
So there's a time frame when a boxer goes through like a level of growth where he peaks. You know, you hear coaches say it all the time, or boxers will say that when they're coming out of training camp. I'm in peak week. Like I'm peaking. That means that they're to the place of where their weight is where it needs to be and their skill set is where it needs to be and they feel good. So can he get better is the question. I think he can get better if he really focuses on the areas that he knows he's weak in. Because sometimes as boxers and as you know, just regular human beings, we can get distracted by doing things that we like to do as opposed to being disciplined to work on the things that we suck at. You know what I mean? So I think that if he can get into his mindset, then I need to work on moving my upper body more. I need to work on being more limber. I need to really cut weight. He cut a little bit of weight, but he's still jacked, bro. Something's telling me that he's still in the gym pushing up 225.
Right.
You know what I mean? He doesn't need to be doing that. He really needs to dial back. And I think that Robert Garcia is a good trainer for that because what fighter do you know of Robert Garcia that has a Greek god body like AJ?
None.
Not one of them. So they're working on
none of
those
stuff. Guys.
They're working on timing. They're working on properly throwing things. They're working on footwork. They're working on head movement. Right. They're not really working out like that, like doing calisthenics and stuff. Now, right. I think Mikey Garcia said he never did a crunch or something like that. He said when he fought Spence, he's like, now I got to go do some sit-ups or do some crunches. But he probably was just joking. I'm sure he's done one, but he's not built like that. He's not built like that. Like he's somebody, that's in the gym working out heavy like that all the time. So bottom line is, do I think AJ can get better? I think that if he focuses, yes. But he has to really dial in on the things that he needs to work on and really focus on those things as opposed to just coming into camp and doing his regular routine.
Right.
Because now he has like detrimental issues that he has in his game that's causing him to be beaten. So when you've been beaten three times and you had all the attributes needed to beat those people, that means either you didn't fight the right fight. Well, he's been beat. Yeah, he got beat 3 times, right?
3 times. This is third loss. Yep, third loss now.
So if you have all the attributes to beat these people, meaning you have the range, you have the size, you have the power, you have somewhat of the speed. There's something there that you don't have as to that they are exploiting that's causing you to lose consistently. What is that? That's what I have to work on.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like if he works on that, and I'll say what one of them is, his mentality, his mindset. I think last night he was raw, he was ready. I think last night was a step up from where he was.
Definitely.
Right? Mentally, but he needs to keep doing that. I keep telling cats, you're not going to change a fighter in one training camp to be the guy that you know he can be. That doesn't happen. You got 8 weeks to get in there and work on the things that you can work on. Now that the fight has happened, you had those 8 weeks, you saw his weaknesses and you saw his strengths in camp. Now, the rest of the time when you don't have a fight, you need to be working. But you need to be working on those things that you identified in training camp that showed, whoa, and things that you identified in the fight that you know you weren't doing properly. Whoa, those are the things we work on, right? In camp and out of camp. So I think he needs to dial in. I think he needs to take a list of things that he knows he needs to work on and focus on those things daily in sparring, in shadow boxing, and whatever else he does. Like I said, at this point, he just needs to stay in shape and maintain because he's getting a little older, working out hard and all that kind of stuff. You can still do it, but now it's more of a mental game and strategy and sticking to the game plan. Because I don't think he needs to get better physically. I think he needs to get better mentally. And once he's better mentally, it will boil down to, or it will, be trickle down to his physicality. So, yeah, I think he can get better. But I don't think that that's just let me get back in training camp or let me get back in the gym and start hitting the heavy bag. No, let me actually dial in on the issues that I have and work those things out in camp and outside of camp. But I don't see him like getting much better, nor do I see his style changing tremendously or drastically. But I do see him, being smarter in there.
Real quick, just a reminder for everybody that's making comments. Appreciate it.
Thanks guys for your comments.
If you guys, anybody wants to jump in here in the description, so you guys can come in and talk to us about this. So we have a question.
Man, like, follow and subscribe.
Definitely follow and subscribe. Definitely.
Like and follow and subscribe to Danny's Dimensions. I'm Coach Rob. This shirt right here says Man of War. This is my gym. I'm right here in Stafford, Virginia. You can look me up on Facebook and you can look me up via Google. Just type in Man of War Boxing and Fitness Academy. You can find me there. Give me a call, man. We can talk. My cell phone number's right there. You want to talk boxing or come train with us, man? Come train with us.
Yes,
we're trying to bring boxing back to this area. Right here in Stafford, Virginia. If you're familiar with Route 1, right over where like right off of 610. Take a left off of 610 and hop right up there, man. We're right up the street.
Yes, sir.
Going Route 1 North.
And there's the link to his Facebook page right there at facebook.com, MOW Boxing.
Yeah, man. If y'all in the area, come check us out.
So let's take a look at these comments real quick. Who is fighting next and with whom? Not sure what you mean by that.
He's probably talking about AJ. Who's AJ fighting next?
Who's AJ fighting next, and what's next for AJ? So what do you think is next for AJ?
I think Wilder. I think that's why Wilder said what he said on Twitter.
Ooh,
I don't know if he's going to fight him like straight out.
Straight out. I think he should have a tune-up fight in between that.
I agree, but I'm saying I think that Wilder is his next big fight. Yeah,
should be Wilder. I would think it would be Wilder, providing Wilder does what he's supposed to do against Robert Helenius,
right?
Which we all think he is, but
you
never know. Boxing is weird, It only especially in the heavyweight division, it only takes one punch.
Yep.
That's it to change your life.
Yep.
Jimmy Jam says, new here, what's going on? So basically what we're doing, Jimmy, we're talking about the AJ versus Usyk fight. What's next for AJ? Talking about his antics, post-fight antics, and that's just basically what we're doing. Just chopping it up. The link is in the description, so you can come on if you want to.
Yeah, fellas, and like you just said, subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe. I can't say it enough. Subscribe.
Definitely show your support. Like, share, subscribe, man. Show your boys some love, man.
So we can keep doing
Shout out
man.
to my boy Coach Rob for helping out, man.
Yeah, man. Subscribe to Danny's Dimension. Ace in the hand.
My ace.
Nah, man. But it's all love, bro. But yeah, man.
Appreciate you, no doubt. Let's see. TV Knowledge says, I don't see anybody can beat Fury the Gypsy King. Does not mind taking risks, and if he gets clipped, he gets up and changes the boxing matches. Absolutely.
Yep.
100% factual.
Facts.
100% factual.
Yep. I don't see, bro. TV was TV Knowledge. That's his name.
Yeah, TV Knowledge.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you brought that up, man, because that is that's a great point.
Excellent analysis.
People don't, people look at the fact that, Fury's out of shape, or he looks out of shape. He's not out of shape. He clearly has to win, but he looks out of shape, or they think he showboats and plays around. You got to understand who he's training with now. Sugar Hill has been creating knockout artists. Ooh. I mean, and Emmanuel Stewart have been creating knockout artists magic, man. For years, bro.
That magic.
For years. So the danger, and I was talking about this last time, I think, Danny. I was like, man, think if AJ got with Kronk and Sugar Hill and all those guys, man, that'd be crazy. It would be crazy because he already is coming with power.
Second coming of Lennox Lewis.
Bro, he already has the power. Now he just has to figure out how to utilize his size. That's the biggest thing I cannot stand about AJ is when he boxes these guys, he boxes down to their level. That's why Usyk beat him.
That was so frustrating watching yesterday.
And he does it with all smaller guys.
Why are you
boxes to their level?
You sit there fencing.
He boxes to their level. He gets low with them, and
you need to throw that shit. Throw your jet.
He gets low with them and stays right there in the pocket, pops his little jab out. I'm like, no, bro, you need to be working from the outside. He could have beat Usyk on points last night, easy.
What?
He could have beat Usyk on points last night, easy, if he had just.
If he'd have popped that jab and
of course he
wanted more.
Yeah, of course he wanted to knock out, which I respect. But
looking for one punch.
everybody knows you don't look for the knockout, man. The knockout sets itself up.
I don't know if you did see the fight, right? So he was looking for one punch.
They all are.
The whole fight, and he was fighting a little, and he was fighting tentative, but he fought better. He thought that the movement, like the upper body movement, which was okay, that's cool. But if you're just doing movement just to be doing it, it's not really.
Yeah,
it's not going to do anything for you. Just moving just to be moving, and Usyk knows what that is, and all he can do is pop, time you, pop, pop, move to the left, move to the right, pop.
Yeah.
And also there's another thing he could have been doing, which was, you see how Usyk was moving his hands. It wasn't really hard punches at certain times.
Yeah,
moving his hands to score points. AJ should have been moving his hands. You got to be touch him somewhere, touch his body, touch him somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's so many things he could have been doing. Rough him up on the inside.
He can't do those
Use
things
your
though,
weight,
because
man.
he can't do those things properly. I'm telling you, because that muscle mass, man, it's tough. It's tough. He's not able to move and be mobile the way he wants to. I don't know, man.
So Adrian says, in reality, what happened last night is what the majority of hardcore boxing fan knew. It was too short of a period of time frame.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's why the fight wasn't pay-per-view. Yep. I agree.
Everybody. I mean,
I agree.
Most real boxing fans knew AJ wasn't going to beat.
There's not enough time.
Yeah, I didn't even question the fact of whether he was going to lose or not. I knew he was going to lose.
Yeah, I picked him by decision, but I knew in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Oh, you picked him?
Yeah, I picked him by decision. But you notice I didn't pick by knockout because I was picking a safe pick because I knew there's no way he's knocking out.
Nah, the safest pick would have been Usyk. I knew AJ wasn't going to beat him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just so much you can pick up, man, from a fighter. And Usyk, only way I would have thought that Usyk would have lost is if he was out of shape. Yeah, I saw him and I saw his media workout and I paid attention to it. I was like, oh, nah, he's gonna win. He still looked good. So yeah, I didn't have no questions. If he was out of shape, then I would have been concerned.
Yeah, he wasn't out of shape whatsoever.
Yeah,
Jimmy Jam says after the 9th round, AJ was spent. Yeah, because he shot. He threw all the different types of punches to try to get Usyk out of there, and he shot everything.
He shot everything he could think to shoot.
But still, I think in the 10th, what really discouraged AJ is after AJ threw all those punches and hurt him, Usyk came right back and hurt AJ with some punches. So that really discouraged him. And yes, he as he normally does. My problem was AJ was looking for the one punch.
Yep.
Cannot win a fight just looking for one punch. That's the same thing sometimes that Deontay Wilder does that frustrates me. Paul with the jab and look for the right hand. And Fury just walked him down and just brutalized him in both fights.
But Deontay, though, he's been doing that and been successful with it. So
he has. Because that right hand is coming. It's always going to be a problem.
Yeah, Deontay, he's been doing that jump, but been successful.
Adrian says, I swear these boxers are managed so poorly and they do the opposite of what they're supposed to. No one thought it was a good idea to put AJ in there with this soon with Usyk.
Well, AJ
nobody but AJ thought that
he called for it. Yeah, he wanted it because he thought he could beat him, but he proved to him again that he couldn't.
Bad match.
Damn, I actually got to hop up off here, brother. Got to hang out with the kids and stuff, man. But
yes, sir.
But no, I definitely had to hop on for a little bit tonight because I had some time. I was like, I'm gonna hop on here and talk to you about this. But yeah, man, I think AJ goes from here. The only place he can go is up. I mean, he's hit rock bottom already.
Only place he can go is up.
Yeah, only place he goes from here is up. I mean, this at this point, this is rock bottom for him. So more power to him, man. Respect to both fighters. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it could have been a better fight, but it wasn't a bad fight. I felt like both of their hearts were in it, and that's really all I care about when I watch a boxing match, man. It's like I just want to see that you actually care to be here because there's so many people that want to be where you are. Definitely. And if you're not taking it seriously, or if you got, you had the golden spoon or the silver spoon put in your mouth, and you turned into a champion, and then you don't respect it, I don't want to see humble.
You will be
humble. Yeah, you will be
quick.
Humble. So no, man, more power and respect to both of those guys, man. I definitely think Usyk needs to fight Fury next. There is no other fight in the heavyweight division right now that I want to see. And until that fight happens, and AJ probably should take some time off, let Wilder go out in a bang with Helenius. If he beats him, he should. I mean, he sparred with him all throughout his camps with Fury. He was using him to get ready for Fury because they're close in size. So, but after that, the fight I want to see is Joshua and Wilder. I still want to see that fight. The 50 million joint that happened many years ago. I still want to see it. I'll watch it. I think AJ gets knocked. I think AJ gets his jaw knocked into the front row, but I still want to see it. Straight up.
We'll see, man.
I think AJ gets put into the shadow realm. But if Wilder comes proper, I think AJ gets put into the shadow realm. But we'll see.
We'll see. Definitely see.
Yeah, man. But I gotta hop off here, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate you for coming by, man. Always.
For sure, brother.
Boxing Talk with Coach Rob, man. Make sure you guys tune in on Saturdays, man. We'll be talking some good stuff on Saturdays.
Yeah, we got some special guests coming on there too, man. So y'all stand by. We're gonna get a few people on there. Oh yeah, and I actually went up to the fights a couple of weeks ago. We can talk about that too next time. But a couple of my friends were on the cards, man. They did real well out in Maryland at the Maryland Live. So we'll talk about that next time. But,
definitely.
But yeah,
Saturday
man.
Coming. Make sure you guys tune in.
Yeah. All right, guys. Peace and love.
All right,
subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel, guys.
Find us on.
I'm gonna actually look at these some of these comments up in here because
I don't drink, JD.
We got a bunch of enjoy your vibe.
Yeah, I got tea, man. I don't drink, bro.
Yeah. He doesn't drink. You don't drink out here.
Clean living over here, man. But
shout out to my boy Monty. Like and subscribe. Yes, sir. He's a YouTube. He teaches people on YouTube, so he's a good one. Yes, sir. Entrepreneur.
Yeah, we need more of those, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for your time.
Appreciate you, Monty.
Appreciate you, man. And I'm gonna talk to you soon, guys.
All right, talk to you guys soon, man. It's another episode of Danny's Dimensions. Appreciate everybody that's made the comments on here, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody's comments, man. Love y'all.
We had a lot of comments today.
I know, man. Much love to everybody, man. Thank you.
I didn't even get a chance to read all you guys' stuff, but I appreciate you guys, man. So tune in to the next episode, man. One love. Peace.
All right, guys. Deuces.